This video is brought to you by patreon.com/worsttake. Get access to exclusive live streams and Discord servers, on-screen shoutouts, and early access to some videos when you join now. Help make sure that we can continue to make content like this by supporting the Patreon. Links are in the description down below. All right, let's look at this Deshaun Watson film. I got 40 plays from last week's game. We're going to look at it. We're going to try to learn from it, see what can be improved, see what's marking a bigger problem, and see what different possibilities could be going on with Deshaun Watson's play. So let's look at it. First play here. This one, fine read, fine throw, pretty basic stuff here. Amari Cooper on out, right? They show a 4 shell, so 4 high shell. And then they move and buzz this safety into a 3 shell. So pretty basic look, pretty basic read. Gets it to Coop. Good throw, good catch, first down. This right here, RPO. They're trying to do is get David Njoku downhill. It's basically an extended handoff, right? Where you're just trying to, it's like you're pitching it to him, but you're throwing it. This linebacker blew the play up, and that was that. All right, so this one right here is the first decision I don't love from him. He goes hot to Amari Cooper to start. I don't love that choice, right? He gets the blitz. They send 6. So if you look at Dallas, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 guys that they send. He ends up creeping to the line of scrimmage. They send 6, so you know you're going to be overwhelmed on the offensive line. You know pressure's coming. You know this is hot. So good that he got it out hot. What I would have loved for Watson to do, knowing that they're running a levels concept, right? Dig and then high. Here, knowing they're running a levels concept and knowing that they're showing that they could do middle open and you have 2 routes coming in there. Watching this linebacker to see if you're going to be able to get the middle field open so that you can get this to Judy really quickly when he hits his cut there, because you could have gotten it there. Now, maybe he was concerned that the pressure would come faster than that, right? The offensive line actually did a good job holding up here. And he just didn't trust it, so he just went with the quickest ball that he could throw. And since he knew this linebacker was going to be on the strong side of the field, he knew the weak side would be open. 21 does a good job crashing to this. But for me, I just would prefer Watson see middle field open and hit that dig here to Judy, because look at that, right? Let's go back to when the ball's in the hand, too, so we can be fair about this. Right here, when he starts his throwing motion, you can get that ball to Judy. It's a quicker throw. It takes less time for that ball to travel from here to here than it does from here to here. It's a longer line, more time to recover, less time for this guy to recover, right? And then you get Jerry Jeudy running. I think you can get a play out of that. Maybe you get a first down. Could have been a big play there. All right, let's go to the next play. Yeah, I don't mind this one here. I think some people could point out that Jeudy, if he stays in the pocket or if he stands in the middle of the pocket, maybe Jeudy pops open here late. I don't really think that be the case. He's pretty much bracketed right here. You got a bunch of open space. You throw to David. That's what you put in the game plan. That's what you want with David Njoku, right? Make him a bull in the china shop. Let him catch a ball like this and try to take it upfield. And the thought process here on 2nd and 15 is that, hey, if you get this look, if they play off coverage like you expect them to, you could throw it underneath to David, and then David could possibly get about 10 yards and bring this to a 3rd and 5. But David falls here, and you get nothing. Oh, you get like 4 yards, my bad. All right. This play right here. So a couple things went wild here. One, first thing foremost, wild OPI. I mean not OPI, DPI that was missed here. Or at least a defensive holding. Watch here. This linebacker basically tackles Amari Cooper. Like, look at that. How is that not intentional? How did that not get caught? And that ref's right there looking at it. Look at him. He's looking right at that shit. Doesn't call it for whatever reason. Okay. Right. Just lets it happen. And I think that really blew this play up because I think that was the matchup Deshaun was really looking for here. Unlike the other play, that linebacker is basically linebacker or safety right here on this dig. He is begging you to throw that. So don't. That's out. This is maybe an option, but it's a really long ball and he doesn't have much distance to cover. So really would not want you to throw this. Once a Coop hits the ground and this doesn't look like it's going to be anything, then yeah, it makes sense to run. So again, fine enough decision here, right? And you do get some yards, almost get the first down, or did you get the first down? I think you did almost get the first down, right? All right, so good stuff there. Also, I think the mic point was wrong. Let me go back and see if the mic point was wrong. Was the mic point wrong? Yeah, they slid this thing right and got overwhelmed a little bit, but it ended up being fine. All right. It's a fine choice here. One thing I want you to notice is just the one time where the times where Watson would be really confident, right, is when he sees something happen with a DB, like either a DB trips, falls, opens their hips. Like he really reads the DB to make a throw here. And I wonder if that's kind of that being part of how he processes and part like the main driver of what he's confident in when he throws versus like concept versus look, if that's creating some of the problems we're seeing. Because look, I mean, it makes sense here and it's not a bad thing. A lot of good quarterbacks read what the DB does. I'm not trying to say it's a bad thing. I'm saying that it is odd though that that's the only time that he's confident is when he sees stuff like that. Rarely is he confident when he sees like a concept he knows should work under that defense. And we know Deshaun Watson knows how to read a defense, knows how to do all that because that's what he excelled at so much at Clemson and at Houston. So it's just odd that we haven't really seen much of that here in Cleveland, and didn't see any of that in this game. It's a little out here. He sees that 13 trips a little bit. You got a linebacker on Jerry Jeudy. You're going to take that. That's a good decision. Yeah, he just kind of checks it down here. I think Amari Cooper took too long to get open here. Yeah, I think Coop took a little too long. Yeah, so Coop gets caught up hand fighting. So 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. Yeah. So Coop gets caught hand fighting. And he doesn't really win here either. And I think that ends up being an issue here. So fine with the check down there. Makes sense. Hey, this one does a great job breaking that tackle by Micah Parsons. So gets a point there for that. I'm gonna be honest, this play never had a chance in hell. This one was just blew up immediately. The way they tried to protect it, it just got blown up on. Micah just did a good job of paying attention. Doesn't take the bait there with the tight end, and then just comes in, rushes Watson. There's really nothing here at this point for Watson to throw. Like maybe you can fit a window here, but that would be really tough with that in the way. You could, I would not recommend trying to throw this out here to David Njoku because yeah, he's open to DBs facing this way, he's running that way, but his hips aren't square to it, so he would have to either short arm at right in front of Micah Parsons, and we saw that turn into an interception, or he has to switch his base so he can get a good throw off down that way. And he's just not going to have the time to do that. I think they wanted to go something inside here, and it was maybe one of those like tunnel screens they like to do, but it just didn't work out. And he had to kind of make something happen here, right? And he almost did because Judy does pop open here, but I mean, it's just a tough throw to try to make. And I would almost prefer you not try to make it, right? For the same reason I would prefer you not try to make that throw to David Njoku. So, yeah. This one right here is just a drop by David Njoku. You could see the spaces there. You get exactly what you want there. I mean, this is peak what he did last year. Catches, gets upfield, break a couple tackles, make a big play when he drops the ball there. All right, so what happens in this one? Pocket's a mess. Um, no one pops open until it's like absolutely way too late. And nobody comes open within the structure of this play right here, right? Like once you get somebody to pop up a little bit, it's well after the structure of the play. So yeah, Elijah Moore, and then he kind of tries to make something happen here, cutting back. So Moore is open, but by the time Moore pops open, just look at what's going on in here. It's just a mess. There's no chance to complete that. Yeah, Posick gives up a little bit of pressure, and then on the twist, here comes Micah. Got to make this throw. Can't make an excuse for it. This is just, come on, man. This is elementary shit, right? Like these are layups. It's wide open. You got to make that throw. I mean, forget being a franchise quarterback. If you want to be a starting quarterback in the NFL, you got to make that throw. It's a clean pocket. You got a clean passing lane. Look at this. Clean pocket. Like, yeah, you're getting a little bit of pressure back here. You're getting a little bit of pressure here, but come on, man. In the NFL, that is a lot of space. You have a clean window. Look at this clean window he has to all this space. And then he has Elijah Moore running into all this space with literally soft brackets over him. So, like, you got this. That they're giving you this. You got to make it. There's no excuse for a throw like this. Like, honestly, this is such a wasted opportunity. Even if it's caught, it's a wasted opportunity. Because this should be thrown with enough strength for Elijah Moore to be able to catch that in stride and try to beat that safety and run away from Diggs. Like, you can have a bad game, but you can't miss shit like that. Like, this is the stuff that can't happen. And if it was one time in his Cleveland Browns career where it's happened, okay, but we've come back here almost annually and we've had a game like this to talk about with Deshaun Watson every year he's been here. And sure, it won't continue next week. Maybe that's the case. But the fact that it keeps happening is annoying. Right here, he's going to throw this underneath here to David. That's a fine decision. It's 3rd and long. And it's a fine decision there. I'd rather you make a good decision behind the sticks than like make a bad decision after it. Like, that's just as fine a decision as throwing this check down here to Jerome Ford, who's on open, but they're really reading his eyes too in this too high look. Yeah, you're fine with that. All right. Yeah, this one could have been big. This one could have been big. The O-line just did not hold up. So, I mean, you got a number of things happening here. So, to me, it looks like they're playing some man on this side. So, man on that side, zone on this side. Because what happens is that basically this half of the field clears out once the play starts. So, let's show that. Yeah. So, 6 follows Njoku. Atkins stays into block on Parsons, or at least Chip, and he late releases. And because he's late, well, he's not late, but he late releases because he's being asked to, literally. So Atkins going to be wide open here. That's something there. You get the look you want because you're running this deep mesh concept here. And you see Njoku has the steps on his guy. So even if you didn't want to hit Atkins, you could hit Njoku. You could come across, wait for Cedric Tillman here. It's a little bit more of a risky throw. But unfortunately, you get immediate pressure on this play from the right side. I believe it's DeJuan Jones. So right here, yep, immediate pressure by DeJuan Jones. I mean, it goes without saying. It's just a bad set here for DeJuan. The feet be killing him sometimes. And then inside, you get that free release for Kendricks, the linebacker. And I have to imagine there was some kind of offensive line miscommunication because I don't know why Wyatt is right here. Like, it would really make sense if this were a half split, but it's not. So I think the assumption might have been that Atkins is staying in instead of chipping from somebody, and that messed it up. But either way, I mean, if you just block that there, even this rush here that DeJuan gives up, you could step up and avoid that, and then you can find Atkins, and that would have been a huge play there. Right? But that pressure being up the middle, pretty much unguarded when it's not supposed to, that blew this one up. Right? Because you could see here, Deshaun can step up, find Atkins, have a lane there. That's going to be a big play because nobody's near it. But got to take care. Got to take care of your protections first, where you can have fun. Okay, so this one here looked like I had no idea what to do with it when I saw it on broadcast. So I'm glad I'm looking at the all 22 now. Um, Feels like dagger. Yeah, it feels like dagger. And I think Watson sees this right here, right? That there's going to be a collision. He sees that. So he feels pretty good about throwing this out, this deep out, right? And he just airmails this one. Very dangerous to airmail that one too, because that could have easily gotten an interception. But he airmails it. It's just it's inaccurate. Maybe I doubt that he's trying to get that ball to Jerry Jeudy right there. I mean, not Jerry Jeudy, to Amari Cooper there. Like, I have to imagine it's not intended for Coop. That was intended for Jeudy, and he just overthrew him. Who knows, man? I couldn't tell you. That's my best guess at it. Is that's what it was intended. The ball gives me no indication on where that was supposed to be at. Like the distance feels in the direction of it feels like it makes sense for Jerry Jeudy. But yeah, he would have to explain that. Somebody's got to ask him about that one. This one here is a screen. Didn't love this play call by Kevin Stefanski on 3rd and 10. He just kind of threw a screen. Didn't love this game plan. I hope I like the next one. Didn't like it. I believe this is an interception, right? Yep. Okay. So there's going to be some people who are going to shoot him bell on this one because it's a tip ball interception, and we're used to giving quarterbacks a lot of lenience on tip ball interceptions. This is not one that I would give a lot of lenience to because, and you can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, I don't feel like you're supposed to knowingly throw it into a clogged passing lane. Like, I feel like if Micah Parsons is right there, you got to try to pump fake him to get him in the air and then run around him. You just can't let that ball fly and think Micah's not going to be able to get a hand on it. I just don't understand that decision there. Like, I get what he's trying to do is throw this ball to Elijah Moore, but I would much rather you pump fake or you just try to, yam the ball out of bounds or something, like, so you don't take a sack. I don't get this. Hell, even take the sack at that point. Like, you don't want to give a free tip ball. This one here is trying to get a screen. Didn't work. All right. Yeah, Dallas's safety just made a play here. Good ball by Watson. Just the safety came to play. Look at that. Look at that hit. Schmack. And, it's a different kind of 50-50 ball. It's a 50-50 if you hold on to it ball. And Jerry did not hold on to it. Woo. Good play by the safety. All right, this play here. It's play action. And I thought I was going to hate this decision when I saw this on broadcast because it looked like a bad decision. I actually don't hate this decision on all 22. What he's trying to do is he sees the hips here of Diggs and the hips here of this safety, and he's trying to give Amari Cooper a chance to just run through those angles. Unfortunately, Amari Cooper's not as fast as he used to be. If he was faster, I think this would have had a shot to be completed. And I think that's why that ball's a couple yards downfield, because he's throwing it anticipating that he hits another gear here. Now, Amari does not hit that gear. And the ball hits the ground. I don't hate that decision. I don't even hate the ball, to be honest with you. Watson made plenty worse decisions than this all game. This is a fine one. And he's made worse throws in this game, too. Yeah. Also, I don't think Coop tracks this ball very well either. Let me go back and look at that, confirm that's true. But I remember noticing that on my first couple watches of it. Yeah. Yeah, he kind of slows down to track it too. But there's a good chance that if Coop were a little bit faster, he splits that and he can catch it. And that is something that Watson showed on his tape in 2020 at least, that he can split it and put it there. All right. Good throw to Jerry Jeudy. Good decision. Boy. All right, so first things first, this looks like a broken play. Feels like a broken play. I know a lot of people were talking about how long Watson was holding on to the ball. I think those numbers are a little bit misleading. I don't think it means anything good or bad either way, to be clear. But I think the holding on to the ball thing, it's kind of misleading because a lot of his times where he's holding on to the ball, it's not like he's in the pocket, patting, right? It's like him doing shit like this. This counts for holding on to the ball, right? It's going to count for time to throw. So I think that really was a lot of it. You know, I don't walk away from this thinking Watson needs to get rid of the ball quicker. I walk away from this just thinking Watson needs to be a little bit more comfortable and be more confident where he's going to throw the ball. I could care less if it takes him like an extra quarter second or whatever at this point. So right here, I hate this footwork. I know they keep it in there. I know somebody likes it and this concept that people like. I hate the footwork for this, right? Because look what it does. It just makes you have to take like an extra step because you're already running to the right to kind of sell something. But I don't know what you're really selling when you do it like that. And then you got to take this extra hop step and then another hop to get comfortable. And then by the time you do that, I mean, the pocket is a freaking mess. Look at this. Where is the line of scrimmage? Right? The line of scrimmage is right here. You got one guy here, 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 this guy here. This line is done. This line is done for. You got Micah Parsons chasing down your back. And in a better world where he's able to get rid of this ball quicker, right? He doesn't get to a set to throw the ball because of the footwork of this play. And this one is on Dorsey and Stefanski more than it's on Watson here because it's more the footwork I have an issue with than what Watson does with it. So right here, look at that. By the time he's in a position to get set up to throw, that's when he's in a position to get set up to throw. It's too much time. And then Micah's back here. He has this middle open, and I think he does see it, but he doesn't throw it, and I don't blame him because he feels Micah bearing down his back. So he just runs away from it and tries to get to the line of scrimmage. And once he's at this angle where he's just sprinting, I would rather him not do something stupid like try to throw this ball in the middle of the field and it not be accurate and it get tipped and it get intercepted. So I just don't think that was set up for success right there. It's here, good throw. You notice Watson in the pocket. Look, he stays in the pocket. Little pressure, stays in there, stands, throws it. Good job. Good stuff. Unfortunately, David gets a high ankle sprain here, but, you know, good ball. This one right here. Steps, throws. Good. Nice. Like it. Awesome. All right, here, stays in. Okay. Not the greatest form in the world, but, you know, it gets there. Good. You notice, like, he's staying in the pocket and it looks a lot better when he stays in the pocket. Like I'm not like let's go back to the three plays. Like I'm not even gonna stop him. Look at this. Stays in the pocket. Oh, yeah. Nice. Awesome, dude. That's great. It's like a 25-yard gain. Stays in the pocket. All right, man. Positive yards on first down hasn't happened all game. The third and short, we haven't converted more than a lot of these. Second and short, oh my goodness, is that a first down? Staying in the pocket. It's great. It's awesome to stay in the pocket. It's great. We're here. Hitches. And then he's a bad ball here. Don't mind the decision, honestly, right? Little bit higher than you would want that football to be. Little bit higher. But the decision is right. This is the right decision to make, right? You have two, here, flat. That's basically the play. You have this safety sitting here, and you have this corner here carrying this third. So you know that that's out. You don't want to throw that. That's a bad decision right here. So that no good right there. This no good triangle. It's cooked. So this is the right decision. You got a one-on-one here. You want to give him a little bit of a lower ball than this so he at least has a chance to draw a PI in the end zone because he's going to go after the ball. He just doesn't give him a ball that he can chase after. I think that has a lot to do with him not playing in the preseason, but fine decision. I don't mind that one. This one here, don't mind that decision either. Yeah, don't mind that decision. Ball placement's off. There is something he could have done here too. So let's see here. Stays in. Yeah, he kind of commits to it early. And I get why. He wants to make a big play. They're down by a ton. He wants to score quickly. And ultimately, that's why I don't mind the decision here. But if you're going to make that decision, you do have to throw the ball a lot better than this, right? You have to throw a cleaner football. He has a clean pocket. So no excuse for this ball to be this inaccurate here. You gotta throw an accurate football here. And if you're not confident in yourself to throw an accurate football down there, that's okay. Look at what you got going on here with Eric Kendricks. You got a whip route from Elijah Moore on a linebacker. To me, that would be my primary on this play, knowing how the defense lined up, is I would want to see if they leave that one-on-one. If they do, and Elijah whips middle, and you get that look, the second Elijah shows you numbers, I'm getting rid of that ball once you see that linebacker cross Elijah to try to chase him. Once you see him get that whip. And the whip worked. You see that Kendricks chasing. Boom. You can get him here trailing. And then I think you can get at least the first down here, given that the marker for the first down is right here. Right? Like, I think you can get a first down. It's actually 1 yard higher than that. Apologize me not being able to write a straight line to save my life. But there that is. So, again, given the situation, I get it. But if you're going to make that decision, you got to make a better throw than that. You know. Here in empty. Good decision. Good throw. Way to stay in the pocket, right? Got a little tight on him. Stayed in, threw it. Good. I was watching this live and I was seeing all this pocket play. I'm like, okay, this might be a better, he might give us some better football going forward, right? Because this is what you like to see out of Watson. Unfortunately, there's a bunch of plays after this where he's not doing that, but stay in the pocket. Good. See how the offense looks a lot more functional when Deshaun commits to staying in the pocket, right? Look at that. Good. Beautiful throw there, too. It's a nice, underrated short throw. Put some zip on it. Gets it in the right spot. Nice. Play action here. And this throw's just off. The decision's fine. The throw's off. And shout out to Trayvon Diggs. Played a great game here. Look at how he forces Jerry Jeudy over. Like, look how he uses his body to kind of just push him over and then run him out of depth here. Good defense by Trayvon. They send a blitz here. Watson tries to step up. Nothing happening. So blitz here. I mean, they send 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nope, they send 5. But they make it look like they were sending 8. and they completely got the Browns fooled on this one. I mean, Jerome Ford tries his best to get in there, and look at it. This is a great job by Jerome Ford and pass pro, right? Getting in there. Ooh, he ran that man down. Damn, Jerome. So good job, Jerome, here. Boom. Got rid of that DB. Unfortunately, Kendrick somehow gets past Wyatt Teller, which you don't love here. And nothing really happens with this play. So nothing that you wanted to happen here. Maybe if it's a cleaner pocket, you could take advantage of Micah being in coverage and hit this window right here if you're Watson. But unfortunately for Watson, right when he's crossing, here comes Eric Kendricks running through Wyatt Teller to hit him. And that's a wrap for that. So just a bad ball. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about that. It's bad ball. Awful ball. Clean pocket, too. Look, clean pocket. I've said this too many times during this breakdown. Clean pocket, bad ball. It's like he played football with stickum on his hands on that one. It's right here. Hey, man, we got to do the counter of like how many times something good happens because you rolled out. All right, so situation here is important. It's 4th down. And the ball about right here. So we're talking about 4th and 6 right here. So line the gain right here between this 4 and this 0. That's where the line of gain is. They keep a max protect in, and it works, by the way, this max protect here. All right. Watch Jerome Ford here. I want to get a good look of Jerome Ford here because Jerome Ford really kicked some ass on this one. Look at Jerome Ford here. Bam! Love that from Jerome. Love that from Jerome. Huh? Let me make sure you guys can see it. I'll center it up. I'll circle it right here, right here, right here. Watch this. Watch this. Jerome Ford. Boom. Knocks 90 on his ass. Love that. Love that. All right. And he sets up there. And I think what Watson was thinking was, look at all this space, right? Drop back. He was like, okay. And I think it might have been a design of the play, to be fair to Watson, right? This might have been a design of the play. Is to roll this way because I could see how DeJuan Jones is kind of pinning it, that the ideal is, okay, let's see what's open here, and then you can always run it with Watson here. And, you know, you see this green space, and you can see, okay, there's space there for him to run. Unfortunately, they close on him pretty fast. Watson's always been a good athlete, but he's never been like 4.5 guy, right? Like he's always been like a 4.7 speed guy. He's just been agile. So that closes up pretty quick on him. And then these lanes close. And this is why I just don't like designs like this, because they're too easy to close off. And if you have a design like this in the pocket right here, then maybe you have a chance to actually hit, I think that's Elijah Moore going across the field here. But from this angle, no chance in hell you make that throw. No chance in hell. Even Pat Mahomes is hesitant about throwing that ball there. So you just kind of take a sack. Desperation and frustration make you blind. And this is absolutely one of those things that manifested itself for Deshaun in this game. Because at this point, he was so desperate and frustrated, he was blind here. So he pump fakes. And I don't even know what he's pump faking here. He's pump faking that he's going to throw to Jerome Ford or throw. Okay, that's what he's pump faking. He's pump faking this curl route to Elijah Moore. And maybe the hope is that like the pump fake makes him hop and it's Trayvon Diggs and you get like an open throw right down there. Maybe that's the thinking here. But that's not really what happens. Yeah, that's not what happens at all. And again, he's trying to make something happen, and he's not wondering, he's not trying to do it in structure, but he's also trying to do it himself. And if he just lets his wide receivers cook a little bit here, right? Amari pops open. So how does Amari pop open? What he notices is that that his route's done. He cuts over, and boom, right here, wide open in space. There's a chance for him to hit him if he sees it or feels it, but he doesn't. And since he's running, he can't set up the throw. Just stay closer to the pocket. Good things are going to happen. Better things will happen. Play action here. This is one of the times he actually does hold on to the ball for a while, but honestly, I don't blame him. Nobody pops open during the structure of this. So 1, 2, they're in the right coverage here. Maybe you could throw a check down. You're down by like 30 points. So he tries to make something happen. And okay, whatever. That play call wasn't working anyway. And he gave it enough time, right? He sat there in the pocket. Like, that's why I'm not bothered by that, but I am bothered by the one before. That one, like on this play, he gives this play not enough time to develop, right? Like, he just doesn't do it. And he kind of just scrambles out of there. This one, I mean, he gave it time. And they're just reading his eyes too here at this point. So this linebacker just decides he's not even going to go to Jordan Atkins because he just sees his eyes are right here. And he doesn't have any confidence that Deshaun Watson feels that. And look how much work Deshaun does to roll left here. Like, I don't get it. But nothing was there on this play, so it's really not that big of a deal. Maybe he thought here was a run lane there. It's a good throw here to Atkins. Fine read. Good throw. Good decision there. He did have Elijah Moore on this slot corner. It's hard to tell if Elijah would have won that if Deshaun threw it to him, because it's easy to say, oh, Elijah won it, but the ball's already in the air. The DB's aware of that, and he's already taken his foot off the pedal. So right here, though, when you're looking at the drop, I mean, that's fine enough coverage to where you wouldn't want to throw that, especially if that guy's not like a top tier wide receiver. It's just Elijah Moore. Yeah, Watson does this, man. And again, there's going to be people who shoot him bail because it's a tip ball interception. But come on, man. How many of these are going to happen? How many times have we seen Deshaun Watson throw, either it's a curl route on stick or maybe it's a little bit of an out and he kind of like short arms it and throws it a little lazy, and then this happens. Yeah, Elijah Moore should catch that. Absolutely 100%. I want Elijah Moore to come down with that. But even if Elijah Moore comes down with that, the significance of this play is cut in half because he has to gather himself to get back on the ground to get any yards after the catch here. The whole point of this route is a yards at the catch route. You got to get that in his chest. Forget the tip ball. You got to get that in his chest so you can get the whole point of this play, which is to get him around this corner so you can block down with Jerome Ford and run him around there and get a big yak play. Like, the play was killed by this throw already, and then it doesn't help anything that Elijah Moore doesn't come down with it. So, yeah, Elijah Moore should catch that. But more than one thing can be wrong in a play. That ball should be at his chest. It's a clean pass lane. Look at that. It's a clean pass lane. It's a clean pocket. There's no excuse for that being like that. Yeah, this is fourth down. Okay, so it's 4th and 5, and he does end up getting it with on the ground. I want to see where Atkins was because he could have just. I think he could have just had this by throwing it to Atkins. Yeah, I don't know why he didn't see that in the middle. I think even Tom Brady said something about that, right? And yeah, he really should have saw it. He really should have saw it. So they're in base. Yeah, he should have saw this. They're in base. Run it under, curl, out, deep, and you know you have middle open, and you know you have a route over the middle, and when you see middle open, you got to check it. You got to check middle open, right? They left middle open, right? Boom, they left middle open. You can't forget about your tight end just because he's on a chip, right? Like he could release there. You got to remember he's there. This is the second time. You get the ball there, super easy first down. Maybe it's even a bigger play. I mean, it's late in the game. This shit's over by now, but still, you know. And this is a great throw he makes here, right? Like this is more of what you want to see outside of him taking that massive hit here. And I don't know, it looks like it's James Hudson's fault because he looks like he is in the guilty position here. Nope, Joe Batonio's fault. That is on Joe. Look at that. Look at Joe chasing. Got whipped. That looked like an ass whipping right there. Hold on. Yeah, that was bad. So Joe gets beat here, lets his quarterback get hit. Watson does a good job standing in there, making a nice throw. That's accurate. That's got to be caught by Amari Cooper. Amari's got to get under that. Amari has to accelerate and get under that. And if he can't accelerate and get under that, we got bigger problems, right? But give Amari the benefit of the doubt and hope that he can get under that, but he's got to get under that. That's not an overthrow. You got to get under that, dog. Like you just got to get under that. You never stop running, right? So his running motion never stopped. Once you see that ball, you track it and you feel that space, you got to accelerate under it. Like right here, he accelerates, he tracks it. Got to accelerate under that. And if that's the fastest he has, then we got a bigger problem here. You got to get under that. That's actually a good play by Deshaun. Great decision. Saw it. You gotta get under it. That's the film breakdown for Deshaun Watson in this game. Now, you know, one of the things I want to make clear, I'm not somebody who's going to paint all the problems on just one person. That doesn't mean that the people I say are exonerated because other people are included in the problem. Deshaun Watson was a part of the problem on offense, and his tape shows it multiple times, him being a part of the problem. The offensive line that some people say was a part of the problem, definitely a part of the problem. Did not play well in this game. The wide receivers, we just saw an example of it, definitely a part of the problem on offense. Whoever you want to blame the most, I mean, it comes down to personal preference. You could draw a name out of a hat from this game, from anybody responsible with the offense, from play calling to head coach to wide receiver to offensive lineman to Deshaun Watson. I mean, anybody except for like the running backs, because I think the running backs actually did fine in this game for what little we saw of them in it. Anybody on this offense other than those guys, you can point at them and say that they were the problem. And you'd be somewhat right because, yeah, they were part of the problem. A lot of things were part of the problem. It wasn't just one thing. Watson played really bad. He compounded mistakes that the offensive line were making by making his own mistakes. And then the wide receivers compounded that by compounding the mistakes that the offensive line is making, by compounding the mistakes that Deshaun Watson is making, by compounding mistakes that they're adding to the problem themselves, and so on and so forth. It was from the top down, just bad from every unit. Nobody in any particular unit stepped up enough to overcome these problems, and it looked like garbage because it was garbage, and everybody was involved in that garbage. Deshaun Watson, Amari Cooper didn't play well in this one. I don't think any wide receiver in particular played especially well. Like Jerry Jeudy played the best out of all these guys, and it's not like Jerry Jeudy had an excellent game here. Like there were a couple times where he just could not win on one-on-one coverage, and like, you know, if I'm going to say you had an excellent game, you got to win one-on-one coverage. So it's not like Jerry Jeudy was out there eating them wide open. It's not like all these wide receivers were running wide open in space and beating their man and all that shit. It wasn't like that either. It's not like the offensive line was blocking a pretty game. All of these things came down. And I don't think Watson's bad play was because the offensive line didn't play well. I don't think that the offensive line played bad because of Watson. All of these things just happened and they compounded on top of each other. Watson had a bad game. There's nobody else to blame for that other than Deshaun Watson. He had a bad game. The offensive line played bad in this one. There was nobody else to blame for that but the offensive line in this one. The wide receivers individually played a bad game. There's nobody for them to blame for that but themselves on this. Kevin Stefanski had a bad game. I think Ken Dorsey had a bad game plan. They have nobody else to blame for themselves other than this, because the quarterback clearly wasn't limited. He could throw the ball downfield. I just watched him do this. So that doesn't make sense. It's not like you had to come up with an injured quarterback game plan. If you want to use the excuse that, oh, you didn't have one tackle on your offensive line, one tackle on your offensive line, right? DeJuan Jones has started enough games where that shouldn't handicap you. But one tackle, you're missing one tackle on your offensive line, and you're telling me that means the game plan has to go to garbage? I've seen the Browns call better game plans with Garyon Christian and James Hudson playing left tackle with PJ Walker at quarterback. You want to talk about limitations? I've seen them work better with limitations of that variety. When you have Deshaun Watson in there, you should probably be less limited. So them being more limited than they were with PJ Walker and Garyon Christian with this unit, it's not acceptable. If that was the thinking and why they weren't aggressive in this, it's not acceptable on any level for anybody. That's not acceptable. Deshaun Watson's play in this game is unacceptable. How many times did he miss throws that were there where he had a clean pocket? They ain't got shit to do with the offensive line. That's got nothing to do with the wide receivers. That has to do with him making basic layups. There weren't many opportunities for them simply because he kept getting off the field on third down because he couldn't make throws. That's on him. He wasn't accurate in this game. There were times where he made some accurate throws. There was one drive where he stayed in the pocket, made some accurate throws, looked like an NFL quarterback. Every other drive, it was a mismatch. That's on him. It's not just him, but it's on him. Offensive line, missing one tackle, not an excuse to be this bad. Like, not an excuse to be this bad. And honestly, Deshaun didn't even do all the stuff that I think like helps offensive line stink in this kind of a situation. He wasn't blowing his depth that much. Like, he wasn't creating it and making it harder on his offensive line in this game, like we've seen him do in Houston and in games in Cleveland before. So they can't blame this on Deshaun Watson. And in the throws that were there that the wide receivers did not make, you can't blame that shit on Watson. The drop that Njoku had, you can't blame that shit on Watson. We try to blame shit on everybody else. Like that. I'm so sick and tired of it in the fan base. We're trying to blame it on everybody else. Oh yeah, Watson played bad, but it wasn't his fault. Yes, it was. It was his fault. And you know what? Elijah Moore played bad. It was his fault too. It was his own fault. Amari Cooper didn't play well. It wasn't Watson's fault. It was Amari Cooper's fault. Kevin didn't call a good game. It's not Watson's fault. It's Kevin's fault. Same thing happened with Ken Dorsey in this one. It was that simple. It was that simple. It was really that simple. And honestly, even if you're Kevin Stefanski and your quarterback's struggling this much, right? You can't get things going. You got to be this conservative. Then run the ball. It wasn't difficult. This wasn't an acceptable performance by anybody on offense. Outside of I think Jerome Ford had a good half. That's it. That's it. And it's not like I'm raving about the half. I just think it was good compared to everything else we saw. We had 4.2 yards per carry in the second half. That was pretty decent. But that's it, man. I'm tired of people trying to blame people playing bad on everything else on the game. They're trying to find a scapegoat with each other, right? We're trying to blame, oh, yeah, David didn't play good, but you know what? It's not David's fault. It's the offensive line's fault. It's this fault. No, man, David sucked in this game. Outside of one catch, he was not good. You just got to face it, play better next week, and put together a performance that you're not embarrassed about to have on tape, because every single person that lines up in this screenshot, because I don't think Jerome Ford is in here, every single person that lines up on this screenshot should be embarrassed that this game exists. DeJuan should be embarrassed. Deshaun should be embarrassed. Joel should be embarrassed. Ethan should be embarrassed. Wyatt should be embarrassed. Amari should be embarrassed. Shouldn't be looking for people to blame. They should be embarrassed by this shit. And if they come out like a team that's not embarrassed by this, then it's cooked. It's cooked. They got to be embarrassed by this. Because if they're not embarrassed by this, they don't think they're better than this. And they got to be better than this, man. Just straight up. Everybody in this freaking tape, they have to be better than this. This is embarrassing. That's my thoughts. That's the tape. We looked at it. I've watched this game 3 times. And you know what? It's going to be a long time till I watch it again. I think I got everything I can get from this. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Y'all have a great day. Have an even better night. Peace.